And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. We have got Maria, which is waiting for Maria now, and hopefully she'll be on in a sec. Good afternoon. It's nice to warm up the day, and I hope you're enjoying your Wednesday. The week goes fast, doesn't it? And so there you go. And welcome. If you need to have a chat, um, or leave a message, please do it on your right hand side. And yeah, so thank you very much for joining us. And hopefully, we're just waiting for our guest, and she should be with us in a 2 bit. So, how is everybody today? I hope everybody's doing okay. The sun was out earlier, and yeah, so um, I'm just trying to recover at the moment after a scooter. I turned over my scooter this morning. Uh, so yeah, I'm trying to get over that. Bit scary, but thank you for everybody who helped me out. I really appreciate it. So we're just waiting now for our guest to come to the link. Um, okay, I'll send you the link. I'm trying to send her a link, but the computer won't let me. Um, we're just waiting for our guest. Shouldn't be on. Shouldn't be long now. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah, Steve. This
Hallelujah.
technology gets to me all the time. How
Do
are
not
you?
worry. Do not worry. It's you know what they say. It happens. Don't worry. I had an accident this morning.
Oh,
So yeah, I went I went down the hill. I can't remember that big hill in Exmouth is. Going down
hmm
to the library to the stroke club, and I my scooter turned over,
Oh my goodness.
So grazed my arm, everything. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, guys, I've got Maria here, and what we're going to do is, I last time I talked to her, she was getting everything ready to go up to Romania, all the boxes, shoe boxes, and everything. And God, they were. I was looking at all the pictures. It was a lot of pictures and stuff. And by the way, Maria, I love that chutney.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that chutney! I think we need to have a rail belt coming along,
It's a
because
winner.
oh, love it, love the chutney. Anyway, Maria, so what's happening? What's happening at the moment then with the project?
It's a bit slow this year because they now require that every shoebox has a label with all the items that are inside and their respective weight. So it means that everything I put in the shoebox, it has to be weighed, and then I print out a label and stick it on the shoebox itself. And then the shoeboxes are going to go into a crate. So every crate has to have a list of each shoebox that goes in there, and then a total weight of clothes, a total weight of shoes, a total weight of crayons, a total weight of shampoo, a total weight of soap, a total weight of flannels. It's driving me insane, Steve.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy. So I had to change my way of thinking. I had to try and adjust my brain to it, because before, oh, it was just sailing right through. I get the donations, separate what's good for the shoeboxes and what's not good for the shoeboxes. And what's good with the shoeboxes, then I separate by gender and by age also. And then when the shoeboxes are covered with this pretty Christmas paper, I just take an empty shoebox with me, go to my shelves, and pick up all the items for that particular age group that I'm doing, on that particular shoebox. So now I still do that, but then the shoebox goes in my kitchen, and it stays in my kitchen, waiting for me to get the scales out. I have to open the shoebox again,
Oh no.
take everything, weigh everything. I write it on a piece of paper. Then I give that piece of paper to Tony, and Tony will print me a label and also enter it into a spreadsheet. It is a nightmare.
So I've got people on here now, and they're saying, "What do you do?" So can you explain to people what you actually do?
Okay, so I went to Romania on mission about 9 years ago for the first time, invited by someone at our church. And I not only fell in love with the country, I fell in love with its people. I fell in love with the children. The children, they are just so welcoming, so easy to keep happy. Those kids have absolutely nothing. Some of them, because we do this with the churches, it's a holiday. What you call it? It's a holiday project that we have with the children. So we only go there during summer holidays. So, and we do holiday camps. So I take the children and us. We all meet at the church, either the main building or the hall, or whatever the church has, the space the church has available for us to play with the children, and so on. And some were coming to church, Steve, naked. It broke my heart. I am from Africa, and I'm used of seeing the children there naked or semi-naked. But we are talking Europe. And when I saw it for the first time, I was in tears. I couldn't believe. I said, no. In Africa, you understand that because There's so much poverty there,
Mm.
and also the climate is so hot. There's no disposable nappies. There's no facility for the moms to do anything like that. But we are in Europe. Honestly, I was not prepared for that. So at the end of the first day, I just cried before I went to sleep. And the next day, I spoke to Andrew and to my colleagues and so on, and I said, I'd like to do something about this. I don't know what. It's too big. We had over 170 children there. It wasn't
Mm.
just half a dozen of kids that we could just do something, take them shopping and buy them a pair of underpants. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
The trouble is,
So
you don't expect it in Europe because, you know, come on, everybody needs clothing. You can't
yes.
leave children without clothing.
Yes, yes. And if they grow up like this, you know, they're not going to know any better. The, I must say that the older kids had clothes on, they had rags on. They weren't naked. But the babies, they had nothing. And the toddlers had nothing also. And some had tops and they had no bottoms. Some had bottoms and they had no tops. And yeah, so at the house where we were staying, I saw two shoe boxes covered with pretty Christmas paper, and I thought, oh, but they've got a shoebox ministry over here. And I went to find out, and I was told that those are the only two they could get. They weren't given any more. They didn't have any more. So I prayed about it and I spoke to Andrew, and Andrew said, oh, yeah, Maria, you want to do the shoeboxes, and then how are they going to go to Romania from the UK? I said, I don't know. If it's God's will
Mhm.
that I do the shoeboxes, you provide a way, you provide the means.
Mhm.
And he did. He did. So the main thing that I collect for the shoeboxes is items that people don't want. We get given toiletries that are not really our favorite, or we don't like them, or we don't use them for some reason. And they just stay in our drawers and in our cupboard. So I keep asking people, if you have anything that you don't use, instead of throwing away or taking to the recycling center, would you let us have it? Because we grew so much now, Steve, that we don't do shoeboxes only. So the shoeboxes we cater for children from birth to 18 years old. Then we have a widow's ministry, which we cater for all the widows there, and we collect ladies' handbags. Again, we don't buy them, and we don't ask you to buy them for us. We just ask, if you have a handbag you don't no longer need, being it old, being it new, being it well used or not, just if you could give it to us, we'd appreciate that. So I fill them up with toiletries and warm clothes and stuff like that.
What was yeah bag?
Yeah, handbags, ladies' handbags. So the widows get a little something too. When we were praying about that, to see what kind of things we would put in the handbags, what came to mind was an incident that happened to me in Africa. At some stage in my life, I had no means of getting new glasses, new specs. They were terribly expensive. And so I could barely see. I was in a Bible study, and I couldn't read the Bible, and I was getting distressed. The leader noticed that I was getting distressed, and she stopped the meeting and she prayed. She prayed for me. But she didn't pray anything in specific because she didn't know why I was distressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The following week, I went to the same Bible study. Somebody I never spoke to because it was a huge Bible study. We were 300 women. Yeah. So someone I never met sat next to me, and she said, we all had name badges. So she turned to me, and she introduced herself, and she said, "Nice to meet you, Maria." And I said the same. And she said, "I hope you don't mind, and I hope you're not offended, but I somehow got this uh, deep desire to offer you a pair of spectacles." And I just looked perplexed, you know. And then she carried on. She said, "They belong to my late sister. My late sister died. She never wore them. When she got them, she was so ill that she never wore them. So they're sitting there. And when I was clearing her stuff, because she had just died, when I was clearing her stuff, I was told to give these to you." I picked up the glasses, Steve. I put them in my eyes, and I just burst into tears. I could see as clear water. I could read everything. I could see the Bible, and I could see what was on the blackboard also, which was quite far away from me, you know? And I never forgot that. So I said to Andrew, "I'm going to buy those reading glasses. You know, the reading glasses you buy for 99p
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
at home bargains. I'm going to buy them, and I'm going to put them in the widow's bags. And for everything I make or do for the widows or the children, I pray for it, okay? So every person that's going to receive something has been prayed for. And my prayer is that if that particular person cannot use those glasses because either they don't need it or they're not strong enough or they whatever, that there will be someone they can bless with the glasses
Mm,
because they are unisex. They can be for men or women.
right. Okay.
Well, Pastor Gavril from Tinker from Romania came to visit, and he was in my house, and we were chatting and chatting and chatting, and I said to him, "I have got several glasses that I was given, and I'm not sure if I should include that in the widow's bags or not. I'm not sure what to do with them." And he said, "Can I have a look?" I said, "Yeah, of course." So I gave him like a shoebox full of used specs. Okay, and he looked at them. I'm not exaggerating. The first pair he picked up, he put in his eyes, and he said, "Wow, I can see now." And I thought, you know, I wasn't going to send those because they are prescription glasses. And then he said, "No, Maria, you must send them." "Can I have this for myself?" I said, "By any means, just keep them." So it's amazing how God works. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's mind blowing, isn't it?
Well,
So yeah,
if you get a pair of glasses for me, my glasses are like this at the moment.
you
Um, I've
see?
got I've got sellotape alert. I've got things like that.
Oh,
So I haven't been down to the opticians. So I usually get the opticians to come and see me, but they haven't been.
yes.
So I'm waiting for
Oh,
them
right.
to come along. So at the
Yes.
moment, I've got now the glass goes out, pulls
They
out,
go, oh no.
the arm comes off,
So,
and I'm thinking, Lord, please send me down a pair of glasses.
there you go.
And it's unbelievable, and all I get back is saying, "Don't be greedy." So, but the trouble is, what you're doing for people is it's remarkable because at the end of the day, children of Romania and the families they haven't got very much, and and doing all these shoe boxes and collecting all these handbags and everything. I just every time I look at pictures, you always got people donating socks or There could be woolly mittens, or there could be toothpaste, deodorant. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? It's all coming in. And it's unbelievable how you're getting all these donations in. But
Yeah.
the trouble is you're getting all these donations in, but it's not enough shoe boxes, is it?
Well, you would be surprised, Steve. Do you remember the last time we met?
Yeah,
I was struggling. I could not get any shoeboxes at all because of the lockdown.
yeah.
Well, there's a lady at our church. Her name is Patty. And she was asking me, Maria, what do you need for the shoeboxes? I said, actually, Patty, I need the shoeboxes themselves. I have lots of things. People during the lockdown, they've been clearing their cupboards and their wardrobes. I have got lots of stuff. I haven't got one single shoebox left. I've done them all. She says, oh, okay, I will pray about that. The next week or so, it wasn't very far from then, the lockdown eased off. This is just before Christmas. It eased off a bit, remember? And she phoned me. She says, guess what, Maria? How many shoeboxes do you want? I said, oh, I just said it. About 700. And she said, well, I can't get you 700 in one go, but eventually I can get you the 700 shoeboxes or more if you like. I said, well, how did you do that? Well, it just so happened that I went to get myself a pair of shoes in Sidmouth. And I was chatting to this lady, and I asked, what do you do with the shoeboxes? And they said that we throw them away. And then Paddy said, oh, instead of throwing them away, can I please have them? We've got this project at church. We desperately need shoeboxes. She said, yes, how many would you like? And about 700 to start with. And they said, okay, you come and get them. Every week, Steve, we get 50 to 100 shoeboxes. I have now so many shoeboxes, there's no more room. Oh,
Where'd
you know,
you, where'd you put them all?
God, there's such a sense of humor. Well, I was just sitting here again thinking, oh, Lord, you bless us with so much. I need another blessing, Lord. I need storage space. And who comes next to visit? About this is maybe 5 minutes after I prayed. It was my sister-in-law. She's only 2 houses down from mine. She came and she was talking to me about I can't remember what. And then she said, where did these shoeboxes come from? We couldn't, there was only enough room for Tony's wheelchair to go through.
Forget about Tony. I want my shoe boxes.
And then I told her what happened, and she says, my spare room is empty. There you go, Steve. I've got storage there. It's just how God provides all these things. He has such a sense of humor, hasn't he?
Oh gosh. And
Yeah.
also, do you have garages as well, don't you? Don't you have a
Yes.
garage? Yeah.
Yes. Andrew's garage is full with the shoeboxes that have been made. I need a prayer for that because those shoeboxes at Andrew's garage, they are about 120, and they're not itemized, which means I need to get them back into my house so I can open them up one by one, weigh everything, itemize everything. This is going to be a mission and a half this year. So I don't know. I just praise the Lord that He's given me good health and strength, physical and mental, because I thought this is either going to make me or break me. First, I didn't have shoeboxes. Now I have too many shoeboxes. Before, I didn't have to do any this work, all this admin work. Now I have to do the shoeboxes plus all the admin work that goes with it. And I don't know how am I going to cope. So I just said to myself, you know what? This is not my business. This is God's business. And He will make a way. And I said to him, as long as you keep me sane, everything else is okay.
I was just thinking about something. You know, you're not allowed to sing at church, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go to church and get everybody at the church kind of like open the boxes for you, Pastor Parker?
That's a
They're
good
not doing
idea.
nothing else, are they? I can imagine that, with a pair of scales at the end.
Nobody's allowed to leave until they open one shoebox.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh no. I'll tell you what, Owen, you do really do a good job. And the trouble is, when we talked last time, the trouble is the people's faces. When they receive that, it's only a small shoebox, and sometimes, but that shoebox means a lot to them, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It's so interesting. One year I prayed about wanting to go to Romania to distribute the shoeboxes just to see the smile on the children's faces. That's all I wanted. And then I thought, I quickly shut my mind and said to myself, you know what? I will never be able to afford that because I was using my holiday days, my yearly holidays, and savings to get myself to go there once a year to do mission work, you see. So once I've done that, and this is summer, this is like between July and September. Once I've done that, there's no way that September, October, November, 3 months, I would save enough money to go there again because it took me a whole year to save the money for that.
Mm.
So I thought, this is too ambitious. I must just not get too excited about it. And we were in Romania by the seaside. We had finished our morning program. The leaders of the mission took us all to the seaside for a swim. And we were just sitting around and having a chat and talking about plans for the next day and so on. And one girl I've never met because, when we do mission there, although it's the same organization, they recruit people from all over the country. So there might be people there that we've never met. And that was the case. I met this girl at we always have a meeting before we go on mission, like 2 or 3 months before we go on mission. So you get to know what's happening in mission and we can ask questions and so on. And this girl was there. So I met her briefly there. But that was it. I didn't know anything about her, just knew her name. So Andrew was talking to me and he said, as the Lord say anything about you coming to Romania to distribute the shoeboxes in December? I said, no, that probably was just me, not from the Lord. It was just my desire to do that. And Andrew smiled. He said, yeah, well, we don't know, do we? I said, yeah, but I said, well, if the Lord, if that thought came from the Lord, then he will provide a way for me to come back here in December and distribute the shoeboxes. And this girl who I never met turned to us and she said, I'm sorry, I could not help but listening to your conversation because I'm sitting right next to you. I would like to sponsor your trip to Romania to go and distribute the shoeboxes. So she paid for it. She paid for it all. So when we were distributing the shoeboxes, Pastor Gavril first spoke to the kids in their own language, right? And asked the kids questions and all that. And I understand a little bit of Romanian because I'm Portuguese, and some of the words have the same root, the same Latin root. Therefore, the words are similar. So I know what they're talking about, you see. And I was just crying because he was asking the kids questions, the same questions I wanted to ask. And the question was, when you open your shoebox, what do you think, before you open it, what do you think you're going to find inside? So they all shout out sweets, chocolates, crayons, toys, clothes, they all shout out. When they finish shouting everything possible that could be in a shoebox, the pastor looked at me and he looked at them and he said, there's one more thing that Maria includes in the shoeboxes. And he asked, Maria, can you tell the children? Now, I didn't discuss this with the pastor. And I thought, oh my word, my heart was pounding. Imagine asking you a question and you don't know if you're going to give the right answer. So I just said, well, Pastor Gabriel, these boxes are full of love. They are full of God's love because He is the one that inspired me to go and do it. He is the one who provided everything. I cannot afford to buy the things to put in the shoeboxes. But people see, people like, and they ask, what do you need? And I can say to you with a little bit of pride that one thing we've never asked for was money. I said to Andrew, you will never find me asking people for money because money is not what we need. What we need is the things that the children need. Yes, of course they need money. All of us, we all need money. So I was always reluctant when I was asked that question. Last year, we got a challenge. The shoeboxes normally go to Romania with Andrew. He has a big trailer and he takes them. When he comes here for the summer holiday, he will take the materials for the holiday camps over there. And whatever room is left in the trailer, which is quite a lot of room, he will take the shoeboxes and the widow bags and stuff. And then he comes back again, end of the year, and he takes a trailer full again of shoeboxes. But because of COVID, he couldn't do it. And he said the only way of getting these shoeboxes to Romania is by paying an agent to pay, paying an agent to do all the necessary paperwork and finding a transport company that will do it. That was going to cost us a lot of money. And it was approximately £2 per shoebox. And there's no way we had that kind of money. The mission didn't have that kind of money either. So I was just sitting here thinking, how am I going to fundraise, or how am I going to do this? Maybe it will have to wait until next year when Andrew can take the shoeboxes by road again. And this just, when you are at your computer and these adverts pop up.
Yeah.
Well, there was a funny advert there, which was really weird and strange, which didn't catch my attention. The only thing I remember about it is that it was like a box and everything written in black. So it was just black and white, really dull. I thought even it was my computer telling me I needed to do some updating or something or other. And I didn't pay any attention. I just carry on doing what I was doing. 5 minutes later, the same thing pops up. I said, I better read this in case my computer is going to break down. So, sorry. So, I decided I'm going to read it. And I started reading it, and it was a recipe for dog biscuits. I said, oh, dog biscuits? I don't even have a dog. I just ignored it again. And off I went to sleep. The next day, I opened the computer. I start working. The same recipe comes up. And I said, I better look at this recipe. So I went and looked at the recipe, and the recipe was so professional. It even had the calories and all the nutrition specification was there. I thought, gee, this looks really impressive. But again, I have no dog, so discarded. And then the next time it comes up again, I decided, no, I'm going to read this again. Maybe I'm missing something here. So I read it again, and it had an ingredient which is called brewer's yeast that I knew about. Because when I was in Africa, I had lots of cats and lots of dogs. And I had a friend who was a vet. And the only money we spent with those cats and dogs were the inoculations for them. Because they were healthy. They didn't eat what the cats and dogs eat here. They ate our food. You know, what was left from our food, I would put it in a big pot and I would cook it with the scraps from the vegetables, the potato peel and all that jazz.
Okay, yeah.
And make like a porridge with maize meal. And I never had any trouble with them. One day, I was giving my eldest son some yeast tablets. And I kept them in a cupboard at the top because I had younger kids. You know, the eldest one was a teenager, and he suffered a lot from acne. And my GP had told me to try yeast tablets because normally they help clear your skin. So I went to the chemist, I got the yeast tablets, and I had them in the medicine cupboard. And, you know, they were in a plastic bottle. So every time I picked it up, it rattled. So I picked up the bottle, and one of my cats is right there on top of the counter, which I thought really odd because they never climbed on top of the kitchen counter. The cat was right there and wanted to sniff what I was giving Alex, my son. So, you know, like a mother to a young child, I picked up the tablet, I showed it to the cat, and I said, "You don't even like tablets. This is what I got in my hand." And she just snatched it from my hand and ate it. And I thought, oh my goodness. So I called the vet, you know, this is what happened. Is this bad for the cat? Is the cat gonna die or get intoxicated or something? And he said, no, Maria, it's the best thing you can give to your pets. It's brewer's yeast. From that moment on.
And that's where you started making these dog biscuits, didn't you? And now I tell you what, I don't know if you know everybody on the radio. I don't know, but the trouble is, I bought quite a bit of dog biscuits, and
You did.
I
And
started.
you don't have a dog.
I don't even have a dog. I don't know why, but and what happened was it was me, my carer, and me and my carer was going down where I live in Devon, and we were going down this pathway, the cycle track, and every time we saw a dog, we used to give him a dog and a Bible tract, and we were doing that all the time. And people were stopping us the following day when we were going down, and they used to say, "Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve. Hi. Oh, by the way, I read the track. It was interesting. But have you got any more dog biscuits?"
Bless.
and I thought to myself, what they should do here, because they cut it all back down there now, they should have a little shop. And I was thinking, I had a vision of, not a vision of from God, but I just thought to myself, as a picture just come up, I can imagine Maria cooking these dog biscuits down this cycle track, and all these dogs are like on a stool or something, munching away. You know what I mean? But it was a good idea, isn't it, to raise money for
Well,
that?
it came from God, Steve, because I wasn't looking for anything like that. And I said, okay, Lord, if this is from you, now you are going to find me customers because I am not a salesperson. I am not. You know, I cannot go around and sell anything. It's just not my nature to do that. And
I know. But
he told me everything. He told me how many biscuits to put in each packet and how much to charge for them. And you know what? Each packet sponsors one shoebox, and I still have enough to cover my expenses. So I take 50p for my ingredients and £1.50 for the shoebox. And we paid for the transport of the shoeboxes last year. Yay!
amazing, isn't it? Amazing.
Yeah,
It's
just like that.
amazing.
Yeah, and just by telling people what God had put in my heart and how He confirmed every step of the way that this idea was from Him and not from me.
Mm,
Um, that gave me courage and an incentive to carry on.
yeah. I tell
And
you
this
what, but
year,
it's your fault. It's your fault because now I've got when I go down that cycle track with my carer. Have you ever seen that film, The Piper of Amlin?
yes,
You know, these dogs they got used to me now, and I always stop and say hello to them and all the people and everything, and we're talking about different things and about gold and everything like that. And next minute, the dogs are following me, you know, and they're thinking that I still got the biscuits and everything, you know.
yeah,
And I remember there was a couple of Labradors coming up, and this lady in the wheelchair, she come up, she said, "Do you know those biscuits, Steve? Can you get loads more?" I said, "Well, I haven't got no money at the moment, but when I had these, I will get some because I wasn't. I was just giving them out, you
yeah,
know, like
yeah.
and um, and I was hoping that and they come up to me and go, "Would you get these, Steve?" And I said, "Brixton Church, Brixton Church, Brixton Church." I said, "Go ask for Maria, Brixton Church." And they said, "Oh, my church don't do this." And I said, "Well, Brixton Church does, you know." But it worked, didn't it? It did
It
it
it worked, yeah. And it's supplemented by the chutney. So every 2 pounds of chutney sold sponsors one shoebox, and the marmalade also.
now I
So
did not like marmalade, right? I'm gonna tell you a story about this chutney, everybody. Now Maria came down to my house. My wife always answers the door because I'm doing something and it's not because I'm trying to ignore her. But the trouble is, these two George turned up the other day. I think it was sometime last week. And chutney usually lasts for a long time, doesn't it? You know what? Two jars were gone in what? 3 days, Joe? I know. It was in a cup. I love chutney. I have it with everything, you know. And I was putting it on. I was saying to Michelle, we have got to get some more of this chutney. We have got to get some more. So I contacted Maria and I said to Maria, I said, Maria, if you've got any more chutney, yes, I'll check on the church and see what they've got. I know, I know where I could go for my chutney, but that is amazing chutney. Oh. That's really nice.
fantastic, fantastic. And
That's
and
really nice.
which what is the Nigel Slater's one like? Is it really spicy or
It's
not
really
too?
nice.
It's nice. It's not too spicy.
No, it's really
Because
good.
people ask me and you see, I don't eat chutney. Maybe I should try, eh?
You
Like
should try it.
I don't eat marmalade either. It's something never caught my attention because for me, marmalade is
Sorry.
a type of jam.
But sorry, Michelle said to me, Michelle went up the shop, and I said to her, when you go up the shop, show, do you know those crisp Doritos? You know the Doritos?
Yes.
I said, get me some so I can dip it in.
It's not a dip, yeah. It's chutney.
So I had this crisp, and I was trying to put it in the jar, but the crisps are too big. So I
Yes.
was like, so I was mashing it all in with the chutney, and I got a spoon. I wasn't get with it, but it's lovely. I'll tell you, it's lovely. So if you
It
want any
smells.
jars,
Yeah.
everybody come to Maria.
It smells really nice. You know, when we were at the fair, at the summer fair in Bigton Gardens,
Yes, that was what I was going to say. How did you get on with that?
it was quite good. Yes, it was really nice. We had we opened a jar of marmalade and we opened a jar of chutney, and we had savory cream crackers for the chutney, and we had plain cream crackers for the marmalade. And everybody that was tasting it, one of the ladies says to me, "I'll taste your marmalade, but I also make my own." I said, "It's okay. You know, I'm not asking you to buy it. I'm just curious to see. I would like to have your opinion on it." She tasted it and she went serious. I thought she was going to say, this is really not that. Mine is much better. I thought she was going to say something like that because she went all serious. She looked at me with a witty smile and she says, "It's much nicer than mine, dear." I said, "Okay."
Did
I
you
said,
sell? Did you sell a lot of marmalade then?
I almost sold out. I had 3 buckets full of sorry, 7 buckets full of marmalade, 3 jars left. 3 jars left.
How about the chutney?
And the chutney, we had also about 5 buckets full, and we got we got we got 5 jars left. That's why I wasn't sure if they had any apple left.
Ah, right. Okay.
But Paddy has more apple if you want.
Yes. Okay. I will. I will talk to you about
Yes.
that in a minute because I think I need to. I just love it. Um. And sorry, guys. Sorry, we just got off track, but we're just having a chat. I lost my track now. But with those dog biscuits, so you made money from that, and that was, and I bet that was a relief because to get all these boxes over to Romania,
Yes,
that was a big relief for you, wasn't it?
it was. It was amazing because it didn't only pay for the shoeboxes to go, but it paid for all the bags of clothes that I collect. There are clothes that are not suitable for a shoebox because of age, uh, because we only do up to 18 years old. So adult clothes, um, or children's clothes also, if they're not top notch, like I say,
Mm,
I won't put it in the shoebox because I always think if you give a gift to someone you love, you
mm.
don't give rubbish,
No, you
do
don't.
you? Yeah.
You don't.
So, but we've been really blessed because I don't get rubbish as such, but I
No.
do get some that are slightly fraying at the hem, or as a little spot in the front or something.
And you
And
repair that, do you? Do you repair that, don't you?
yeah, if it has a hole or a button missing or something, I'll do it. But
Mm.
so we make bundles. We sent over 50 bean bags with all with the money from the dog biscuits. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, there's no dogs in the bag.
It's mind blowing. I've got a nice story about the dog. When we were at the fair, there was this couple with the dog, and I said, because I had samples, I said, "Would you like to give a sample to your dog? You don't have to buy anything, but it's just a gift from us." And she said, "Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure because he's very fussy. And it's not because he's fussy, I don't think. I think it's because of the way he was brought up. No, doesn't eat many things and only eats like rubbish, really." And I said, "Oh, it's a rescue dog." She said, "Yes, from Romania." You see,
Unbelievable, isn't it?
it's just, I don't know.
What was it like? What was it like at Bicton then? Because you went to Bicton Fair,
Yes.
and did you make a lot of money?
Well, between the marmalade, chutney, and the biscuits, we made about 300 pounds,
Well done. That's
which
really good.
is very, very good. You know, I was just thinking, I was a bit disappointed because I thought I was going to make more. Don't ask me why, because we didn't have that much to sell to make more than that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
But in my mind, I was thinking, you know, only this, you know, and then I thought, no, really, if I was sitting at home, I wouldn't even make £2,
mm. Well, there
isn't
you
it?
go. And
Yeah. In
and
this
speak
way,
of,
we have sponsored 150 shoe boxes.
well, there
That
you
we
go.
sponsored. Yeah.
And she was telling me she came along and visited you, and everybody did well on the stall and everything.
Yes, yes. I
Yeah,
thought you were going to come and visit us, but then I thought, no, it's a bit far.
I haven't got the transport. I can't come on my scooter. See,
Yeah, yeah.
I'd love to. I would love to. I would love to. I would love to. I would just sit in the corner, with a bit some Doritos. I can imagine it now. Yes, chutney fine. Get a jar. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Put it in a pot. Give them a bit of. Give
Can
them a.
you imagine? We sold chutney to people that make their own chutney. We sold marmalade to people that made their own marmalade.
They brought it back.
That's amazing. That was
Oh, hang on for a
amazing.
second. There you go. 100 jars of chutney, and all of a sudden they come back and buy it off your back. But
Yeah,
sometimes it does work, doesn't it?
sometimes it does. Yes.
Yes. And the last couple of questions, then I'll let you go. When it's the trouble is now when you can actually go to Romania now and get accommodation because Andrew is moved over there now,
Yes.
so you got free accommodation. You got an
I
holiday coming up.
know. I know. I'm praying. I'm praying that when we are allowed to travel again, that God will provide a way for me to go because it's not just the money, Steve. It's not very expensive to fly. Uh, but I've got Tony, and
Yeah,
I'm Tony's carer,
yeah,
and it will be very difficult for me to leave him um, with under the care of an agency.
yeah.
And don't take me wrong, I have nothing against the agencies. On the contrary, I love them because when I was a full-time worker before I retired, if Tony wasn't well, I got a lot of help from them. You know,
Mm,
that's the way I could go back. I could go to
mm,
work and have peace of mind. But,
yeah.
I've been caring for Tony nonstop for the past, it's going to be 4 years soon. And I just love doing it. And I cannot bear the thought of going away. I don't know if I'll enjoy being over there with Tony on my mind all the time.
Mm,
Do you know what I
mm.
mean?
Yeah, yeah. I can understand. See,
Yeah.
that was my next question. Was about you're doing everything. You're doing all these parcels and everything. But when do you, and you look after Tony, of course, but when do you have time for yourself?
Very seldom. Like now, I managed to find a little bit of time. Because he's my husband, I we organize ourselves according to whatever I need to do during the day. You
Mm,
know, for instance, if I have an early meeting in the morning, because with the church, he will patiently stay in bed and wait for me to finish the meeting so I can
oh,
get out of bed. And during the day, he's very independent, although he doesn't get out of his chair. He's in the lounge in his specialized chair. Um, I leave everything next to him. If I have to go anywhere, I make sure that he has food and drink, and he's got the phone, he has his mobile, he has the computer, and I make sure he's all right. And my gauge is if he feels okay, I'm okay. Then I go out and do whatever I need to do and come back again. But if I feel he's not okay because he's been unwell for the past couple of weeks, then very reluctantly, I think in the past couple of weeks, I've only been out a couple of times, and that was to go to church on Sunday morning. Only
Mm,
because I know he's not well, I don't want to leave him by himself.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I would love to go back to Romania, but it's up to the Lord. You know, the Lord will provide a way. If it's according to His plans, He'll provide a way that both of us will enjoy. Tony will enjoy being without me, and I will enjoy my time in Romania.
yes, and you never know what God has got planned.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
it could, you know, God has a God has His plan, and you never know with Him. He's got a wonderful sense of humor. God has.
yeah, oh yes.
Before I go, I've got to tell you this. I have just taken over for me to get out. I've taken over the Eczema Survivors Stroke Club,
Okay.
and there you go.
Wow. Yeah.
And we met this morning, and I when I had this accident, the scooter went right on top of me. And but when I first applied for it, I thought to myself, because I've had strokes in the past, been
Hmm.
there, done it, and all that lot. I felt, Lord, why you do, I'm all right at home. I'm happy to watch a bit of telly and wind my wife up, Michelle, and everything else like that. And I'm all right. I'm all right. And he said, no, you're not. No, you're not. And this is what I was getting all the time. Then I applied for it, and I went through all the process and everything. The next minute, they said, all right. The person said, yep, you got this, you got it. And I said, all right, thank you very much. The next minute, I went down to the a meeting with them, and this is unbelievable. This is really unbelievable. This guy I've been talking to for a long time. We are now friends. He said, "Steve, you know what?" He said, "I think you know my granddad." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "My granddad just told me that he's saying that you that because I can't do the strip club no more, that he kind of like interviewed you for this taking over, and and I asked him the name, and he said, "Is it Steve?" And they said, "Yeah." So how do you know him? They said, "Oh, I've done some filming with him," and it just kept. It's unbelievable what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
It comes together. So, but yeah, it was unbelievable how things come together, and uh, and it's like with you with the the shoe boxes and the dog biscuits, even though you still get me into trouble with them. All the dogs chase me on my scooter. It's not funny. You should come down and have a look. It's I went down there one day with Simon, and Simon will tell you there's people down there going, hiya, hiya. I'm the dog biscuit man, they call me. It's not funny. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I've got to love you and leave you because I'm going to have a little break. Then I'll be back later on for some more entertainment. Don't forget, we got Britain Got Talent, one of the Britain Got Talent people tonight. I think his name is called Stevie Pink. And after that, we got a country music artist who's a Christian, who is number one in the Christian chart. So please watch
Wow.
that at 9 o'clock tonight. In the meantime, guys, bye bye. Maria, thank you.
Thank you, T, for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
Bless
you.
you. Bye.
Bye.